was a California August in '82 when my mother gave birth to the Spam Tech crew. 13 years later had me looking at Linux. Programming made me stronger like Papa the Spinach. Now, people know that a DG carry weapons, but if that weapon is a nest you step in, we finish Contra with only one life. Finish Metal Gear 2 using only a knife, right? People might think that we're frontin', then they see all the news online that I'm putting. My rhymes flow just like my code, even though my source is owned by SCO. What about my Indian? I keep it low. See me on Gunbound, call me pro. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's spam. I said my heart's wide open, goatsy, and my windows min like Ho Chi. I'm just another nerd, but I rap about it. Shit talk on the net, then I laugh about it. I've been caught slipping like the Star Wars kid when I'm on eBay sniping a bid. Catch me on a webcam like Numa Numa. See me at the club and I'm rocking Puma. Another net legend if you see me yodel. Spit a little something that's anecdotal. Tell me about the time the E-Bombs world stole your chop like I stole your girl. Catch me on Gen May, not something awful. Low tax would ban me, raffle. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's spams. Yeah. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go, every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Cracker's spams. Yeah.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD, and today we got a lot of movie and entertainment news to go over because Hollywood has lost their damn mind, and I'm all here for it. What's up, everybody watching it live and everybody watching it on the replay? We're going to be talking crazy Ezra Miller going to the Flash premiere, as well as them giving out free tickets to the Flash. That's right, they're going to give out free early screening tickets to the Flash. Crazy. Little Mermaid flopping in China and South Korea. It appears that perhaps it is not the U.S. that is truly the racist ones, right? I mean, we're always told that the U.S. is so racist. But the Little Mermaid made some money here. So maybe it's not the U.S. Maybe people need to start looking at East Asia. The Directors Guild, they signed a deal. You know, the Writers Guild, everyone thought that they were going to go ahead and not sign any deal, not make any sort of agreement. You know, brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever you want to call it. They were going to stand in unity with the Writers Guild, but apparently the Directors Guild said, nah, we're going to sign a deal. We're going to make our money. We're going to get our money. Apparently Elliot Page said some big A-list celebrity threatened to F her straight. What's that about? We're gonna check that out. We got a writer, someone out there writing a guest spot saying that they should get paid to audition. They want to get paid to audition for roles. Bill Cosby in the news again because he's getting sued once again for sexual assault and all that terrible, terrible stuff. And why it might not be fair this time. I have thoughts. I have thoughts on this. Of course, we got to talk about the Andor Season 2 spoilers and why this is surprising because it seems like that's it for Andor. We're going to have 2 seasons. And, of course, anything else that we get up to in the meantime. But while we're here, what's up? 56K Warning, AJ13, all the other lurkers. You should start paying me with Amico coins. I should. If Amico coins was a real thing, I would pay you with them. I have some extras. I think I have 1 extra Amico coin. I could send it to you. Hollywood has been insane. It's just finally catching up to them. It's true. It's true. You know, all the weird rituals they've been going through in Hollywood. I wonder how long AI chat type programs will take over the script writing roles. They would, right? If the Writers Guild of America, or Writers Guild of whatever the hell it is, were okay with it, they would. If Hollywood wasn't cucked to the unions, right, then definitely AI programs would be writing all the stuff. And then they would just hire people to, punch it up, fix all the little errors that the AI makes, because the AI, it's not perfect yet. It's not perfect. But it does a decent enough job. So pretty soon, I'm sure that there's already people using AI to write scripts, to write pitches. Be like, hey, you know what? I need a script in a Hitchcock-style horror film about a cabin and escaped mental patient. Boom, AI probably writes something good. Guy just takes it, touches it up, and then submits it as his own. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna know. So I'm sure that's already happening. I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of writers, filmmakers pop up out of nowhere, and then turn out that they're not really that good, right? People are gonna be like, they're the next big thing, and then their movies flop, and it's revealed that hey, they've been using AI to write scripts. They've been using AI to do all this stuff. But we'll see. So I guess we'll just go ahead. We'll start with the Directors Guild. We'll just jump right into it. Writers react to Directors Guild AMPTP contract deal. WGA takes a stand. DGA reaps the rewards. Who is from Deadline. Updated. Reaction is coming in after the Directors Guild and Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers reached a tentative deal on a new 3-year contract late Saturday night. Striking writers expressed some disappointment in their sister union while showing resolve in their own fight for a fair deal with the studios. And with the Succession's finale still fresh in everyone's mind, many are using memes from the saga about corporate intrigue and backstabbing to illustrate their reactions on social media. Apparently the Succession finale was super great and everybody's loving it. I don't watch that show. I don't know what the big deal is. I wasn't around in 2008, but this feels like, from what I've heard, a writer working on streaming series told Deadline Sunday, the WGA takes a stand, the DGA reaps the rewards. A veteran showrunner assess the impact of the DGA pact while also looking ahead to the SAG-AFTRA strike authorization vote, which concludes Monday. It's today. The two guilds have a lot of different issues this year, that's a fact, but no one can say that this deal doesn't change things, the momentum. Veteran showrunner told Deadline today, the outcome of that SAG-AFTRA vote is the next big hurdle. If they vote against a strike, well, I don't know. It'll be hard. Added another WGA member. We went on strike because the studios were devaluing us. From what I've read this morning, the DGA agreement only touches on residuals for us. Otherwise, I think its impact won't be much. Another writer had a slightly different take on how the DGA deal would impact the WGA. I mean, I just want to get back to work. This is the DGA's deal. Sucks, but I get they did it. The person said, it's not going to change much for us. Actually, it will change something for us. Make us more determined to fight for a fair deal for us. Here's a sampling of Twitter reactions from striking writers and their supporters talking about the DGA AMPTP deal. Veteran comedy showrunner brought up the fact that the DGA had held preliminary conversations with AMPTP before ceding the tentpole negotiation position to WGA. Mike Royce says, it's helpful to remember a little history. The DGA tried bargaining back in February and got nowhere, so they called it off. Then they went back to bargaining once they had the leverage of the writers on the picket lines. The headline on their deal right now should be strikes work. Do they work? Veteran TV writer-producer Amy Berg posted a multi-tweet thread that begins with, thrilled that the DGA was able to use the power of the WGA's labor action to secure a deal that works for them. We propose a number of these terms before the AMPTP cut off negotiations in order to hand a deal to the DGA. They will continue to not speak to us, offering them next to SAG, but we have needs in areas they don't, and will secure a deal that works for us. This isn't it. So it sounds like the writers are going to be on strike for quite a while. Quite a while. Why use AI when they can exploit humans to keep writing? Cheaper to exploit than to wait on AI. This is true. But also, it's probably easier to use AI just because it'd be less people, right? Less overhead. Just one guy sitting in a room all day using AI, calling up prompts. It's going to be the future. Oscar and Emmy winner Trevor Free tweeted, as a DGA member, this deal looks great. As a WGA member, this deal is proof the AMPTP just doesn't respect writers. The fact that you can make a historic deal with the people who can't even do their jobs until writers do their screens, all you need to know about the AMPTP. Stephen DeKnight says, as a member of both, my vote will be a resounding no. That's in regards to Joe Russo saying, I'm not seeing any enthusiastic support for the DGA deal from directors, and the writer -H seems pissed. The only folks who seem to be championing the DGA's AMPTP laydown are the weird studio shills with 5 followers lurking in your show more replies. I just want them to get back to work so I can watch my Marvel movies on Disney Plus, damn it. Earlier in the morning, veteran writer-director DeKnight, Spartacus Daredevil, wrote about the DGA deal on Twitter. We've expected this. Changes absolutely nothing, followed by several cliched fist emojis. Clinched fist emojis. Why did I say cliched? Just more people upset. A TV writer, IATSE member Amy Thurlow also posted a thread Sunday morning. It began with, just a reminder, they made a deal with the DGA in hopes of pitting us against each other. Don't fall for it. The enemy is not the DGA. It is the AMPTP. I don't know. Directors want to get back to work. I think these writers, they need to just cut it loose. It's done. It's over. We got AI. We don't really need writers anymore. We got people like what the hell's her name? Wednesday actress. They'll do all the writing. We'll just let the stars, the movie stars, do all the scripts. They'll do a better job. Hire new people. Hire some scabs. I know there's a lot of unemployed wannabe screenwriters out there. Just go to a local Hollywood cafe, be like, hey, we need some screenwriters, we need some script writers, we need some people working on dialogue. I'm sure they can pick up enough work, enough people to just go ahead and do it. So that's my take on the situation. All right, moving right along. Let's see. I bet these studios have thousands of scripts and ideas just waiting so they can wait this out longer than the writers can go without pay. Yeah, that's true. And then they just get a couple scabs to touch it up, do the final dialogue and stuff like that. All right, let's move over to The Little Mermaid. This is from The Hollywood Reporter. Box office. The Little Mermaid gets doused in China, South Korea after racist backlash. Disney's live-action retelling of the iconic animated film, which is bombing in those countries, stars Halle Bailey in the titular role. We needed two writers. This is by Pamela McClintock and Patrick Brzezinski. Two people had to write this. Couldn't just get one person. Had to get two. The Little Mermaid is getting doused in select foreign markets amid a racist backlash over the casting of black actress Halle Bailey in the role of Ariel. The movie has grossed a mere $3.6 million in its first 10 days of release in China, by far the worst showing among Disney's live-action adaptations. The movie is also struggling badly in South Korea, where it has earned $4.4 million through June 4th. Sources close to the movie, as well as box office analysts, say Disney knew Little Mermaid could face challenges, but is surprised by the extent of the backlash and its impact. I remember way back when this was announced and we had Halle Bailey being said to be the star. I was like, China's not going to have it, right? China is notoriously racist against dark-skinned individuals. I'm not saying black people. I'm saying dark-skinned because they don't like, brown people of any race or ethnicity, right? Yeah, you're dark. China doesn't want to see you on the screen, basically. It doesn't matter if you're African American. It doesn't matter if you're a Latino. It doesn't matter if you're part something. You're dark-skinned. China is probably not going to want to see you. It's just the way they are. They're just a little bit racist. What's up, Retro Oblivion? Holly Weird, exactly. The social media outcry over Bailey's casting has been particularly boisterous in both markets. Sources believe this has resulted in unverified audience reviews bashing the movie. In South Korea, such reviews have even made headlines. Negative audience reviews have also populated social media in China. And just before the film opened in that country, the government-affiliated The Global Times ran an editorial lambasting Disney's motives. Man, the China government newspaper was like, hey, you need to stop forcing diversity. Quote, the controversy surrounding Disney's forced inclusion of minorities in classic films is not about racism, but its lazy and irresponsible storytelling strategy, stated the op-ed. Many Chinese netizens said that, like Snow White, the image of the mermaid princess in Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales have long been rooted in their hearts, and it takes a leap of imagination to accept the new cast. First off, I would like to say, based China. With that out of the way, it's not just Halle Bailey that is not reminiscent of the original film, right? Even like Flounder and Sebastian, they look nothing like their animated counterparts. Like, it is so weird to see them just changing so much about this movie, right? It'd be like if you went to go see a Batman movie and Batman was wearing yellow and brown, and you're like, why would you do that? And they're like, wait, just accept it. Just accept the changes that we've made because we know better than you. It's just weird. It's weird. It's weird how we can hold certain things to a certain standard, right? Superman has to be wearing red and blue. Has to be. But other things, like Ariel having really red hair, we just, it's no big deal, right? We can do without it. Things looking exactly like their comic or cartoon counterparts is fine unless it's about people's skin color. Then they get all mad. They get all upset. Or if, they decide they want to change it from a boy to a girl or a man to a woman, they can gender swap characters. We shouldn't complain about that. Or race swapping. Shouldn't complain about that. So, Hollywood's gonna Hollywood. But China's not having it. The editorial further questioned whether Disney's political correctness is motivated by financial interest or genuine concern for representation. Bailey landed the role in summer 2019 after an extensive search that included hundreds of actresses. She immediately set the bar so high that no one surpassed it, director Rob Marshall told The Hollywood Reporter last month. We saw every ethnicity. There was no agenda to cast a woman of color. It was really just, let's find the best Ariel. And Haley claimed that role. I don't buy it. Bailey's performance has been widely lauded by critics and verified audiences alike. You notice how they had to put verified, right? The unverified audiences don't count. We're all racist trolls. In China, Hollywood earnings have been down dramatically since the pandemic. The biggest U.S. hit so far this year has been Fast X and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, both nearing the ends of their runs with current totals of approximately $125 million and $78.8 million, respectively. Those are solid numbers, but much less than each franchise's predecessors. F9, The Fast Saga, earned $217 million, and F8 took $392.8 million in China, while Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 brought $100 million, and all other U.S. tentpoles have fared significantly worse this year. China's not having it. China doesn't like what Hollywood's pumping out anymore. I don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit. But even against a collective backdrop of diminished China potential, the scale of the Little Mermaid's flop is conspicuous. The Jungle Book and The Lion King were outright blockbusters in China, earning $150 million and $120 million respectively, while Aladdin took in a solid $53.5 million. Even Cruella, which was released during the pandemic, earned $24 million, far more than The Little Mermaid ultimately will. Cruella, during the pandemic, has so far earned, what is it, like four times? No, 3.6 goes into, what is it, 24, so like almost 8, like 7.5 times, 7.2 times. It's disappointing, says the Little Mermaid insider. Just an insider, just a random Little Mermaid cast member, I don't know. Adds a source outside the studio who tracks the performance of Hollywood event picks. We did not expect a racist reaction, and therefore, for the picture to underperform internationally. Why did I expect it, right? Like I said, again, when this casting was announced, I said, hey, China's not going to have it. I said, China's not going to like it. But apparently Hollywood couldn't predict this. Somehow or another, I was able to figure this out. I was able to say, hey, China's probably going to have a problem with this. Probably going to be a little racist. Companies are forcing diversity because they need to get high ESG scores to get investments and loans. An ESG score is a measure of how well a company addresses with respect to environment, social, and governance issues in its day-to-day work and operations. This is not entirely true, J.M. De Los Santos. It is... okay, so ESG score, they have ESG investments, right? There are companies that are saying we're only going to invest in other avenues that have high ESG scores. But this is not a guarantee, right? It's not a guarantee that just because you have a high ESG score means you're going to get an investment. It's not like if your score hits a certain number, you automatically get an investment, right? That's not how it works. It's basically like if all of us pooled our money together, right? If we all pooled our money together and said, hey, we're only going to invest in studios that are cranking out movies starring The Rock, right? And we go, oh, does that movie have The Rock in? Okay, we're going to invest in that, right? But we don't have to, right? We don't have to invest in movies with The Rock. But that's our goal, right? Only invest with studios that have The Rock in movies. And that's what ESG is essentially, right? They're like, hey, we're only going to invest in studios that have high ESG ratings. Now, again, studios can get investments from other places. Studios can get investments from other things. And again, just because you have a high ESG doesn't mean you automatically get an investment from those people. Right? Is it a factor? Yeah, definitely a factor. Is it the end-all, be-all? Not exactly. I'm waiting for the white version of Good Times. I don't know. Sounds a little racist. Isn't the white version of Good Times just like Happy Days? Pretty sure Happy Days is the white version of Good Times. Pretty sure. In the U.S., The Little Mermaid has been doing good business despite protestations by some regarding Bailey's casting. The movie has earned north of $186 million in its first 10 days and is pacing on par with breakout live-action hit Aladdin. In its second weekend, Little Mermaid dropped an estimated 58% in North America as Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse entered the marketplace. Box office analysts believe Little Mermaid could top out at $350 million domestically. Aladdin's domestic haul was $355.6 million. Overseas, Aladdin reached $695.1 million for a worldwide total of $1.05 billion. South Korea, however, accounted for $91 million, while China contributed $53.5 million. It remains to be seen where Little Mermaid lands internationally. It finished June 4th with a foreign tally of $140.5 million after debuting a week earlier to a disappointing $68.3 million. Disney had counted on at least $80 million. Stop counting on things, right? Stop counting your chickens before they hatch. The good news, the female skewing held well in a number of markets, and it continues to play particularly well in Latin America. Japan is another key market for Little Mermaid, where it opens in the coming days. Aladdin earned a sizable $112.5 million in that territory. Disney's final marketing push in Japan trumpets the film's strong verified audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, as well as the movie's promising start in North America. The studio also continues to focus on acclaim Bailey has earned. I'm pretty sure that Japan's probably going to lean a little more towards the news coming out of South Korea than the news coming out of America. Just a guess. As for pushing this Rotten Tomato strong verified audience score on Rotten Tomato, this is all bullshit. I've never seen the movie. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's a generational thing. Maybe it's just a me thing. But I could care less. I can care less what the Rotten Tomato scores on things are, right? I know I talk about it a lot. I'll be like, hey, the Rotten Tomato scores are this or that, right? But when it comes to me making a choice for a movie, when it comes to me saying, hey, I want to play this game or I want to watch this movie or TV show, I don't care about the Rotten Tomato scores. I care about the trailers and what I've heard about the series, right? And if I'm already interested, if I'm predisposed, right? If it's Marvel, I'm predisposed. If it's sci-fi, predisposed, right? I'm not predisposed to watching a period piece about 16th century British aristocrats, right? I'll be like, nah, I don't care what people say, or I don't care what the trailer looks like. I'm not looking to watch that. But if you show me, hey, they're going to make a new Karate Kid show, I'll be like, hey, I'm right there. Let's find out. What's going on with this? Just like the music industry, America doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't. It is starting to mean a thing again because overseas markets are drying up. So it's coming back. It's coming back. Where's the movie of Tony TGD? He will be played by Will Smith, and Tommy Tallarico will be played by Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock is too tall to play Tommy. Who's that? The guy from Me, Myself, and Irene. The short African American gentleman. The little fella. That's who will play Tommy. As a kid, I wanted to buy a Sebastian plushie. As an adult, I wanted to get a pot and cook the new Sebastian. That's what I'm saying. It looks weird. It looks freaky. It doesn't look like Sebastian. Rotten Tomatoes keeping their brand in the news. They smart. They is. But like I said, for me, personally, I don't care. Rotten Tomatoes could have super ratings. It could be like 100% fresh score, and I'll be like, whatever. Does it look good? Show me a trailer. Because I've seen some movies that have gotten terrible scores that I liked, and I've seen some movies that have gotten good scores that I hated. So, I really just trust my own opinion. As for combating user reviews made in poor faith, observers say it's harder to do internationally. Domestically, you can search by verified audience reviews, notes one box office analyst. Internationally, you cannot. Oh, man. Just like Tommy Tallarico found out he can't control the internet, Disney is finding out you can't control overseas internet, right? People overseas are just going to do what they want. Rotten Tomatoes would probably give the Amico 100% certified fresh. Certified fresh. The Amico has been rotten for so long. It's decomposing. The Amico is just a blob of goo at this point, right? Just a little fucking gooey mess. All right, let's see. What are we moving on to? We've got lots to cover. Elliot Page, here we go. This is one to get our channel taken down. Elliot Page reveals a famous actor told him being gay doesn't exist and threatened, quote, "I'm going to F you to make you realize you aren't gay." Some Hollywood actor threatened to grape Elliot Page. This is... You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. And I'm wondering, was this before or after the transition, right? Because if it's after, it's kind of weird. Be kind of weird, right? In his upcoming memoir, Page Boy, Oscar-nominated actor Elliot Page reveals he was once confronted by a homophobic actor at a birthday party in Los Angeles. The year was 2014, shortly after Page publicly came out as gay during a speech made at Human Rights Campaign conference. Quote, "I'm here today because I am gay," Page told the crowd. Page later came out as transgender in 2020. Okay, so in 2014, Page was just a lesbian. Right, it was before Elliot Page had transitioned, so she was like, "Hey, I'm gay," and then some dude was like, well, I'm gonna fuck you and prove that you're not gay. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Slitter Red, what? As Page writes in a chapter aptly titled "Famous A-hole at Party," an actor that he considered an, quote, acquaintance approached him at a party and said, "You aren't gay. That doesn't exist. You are just afraid of men." Page writes the actor also threatened him by saying, "I'm going to fuck you to make you realize you aren't gay." I'm not sure if that's a threat or just a really bad pickup line, right? Like I'm not excusing what this person said, but it almost sounds like a really bad, like, "Hey, you're not gay. I'm gonna prove it to you by giving you the best fuck of your life." Right? I don't know. Maybe I wasn't there. I wasn't there. So if Page says it was a threat, I guess it was a threat. Because he didn't use the R word, right? He didn't use the R word. So it's kind of weird. When Page saw him at the gym a few days later, the actor tried to walk back on his comments saying, "I don't have a problem with gay people, I swear." "I think you might," Page told him. "I've had some version of that happen many times throughout my life," Page told People About, including the story in his book. "A lot of queer and trans people deal with it incessantly. These moments that we often, don't talk about or we're supposed to just brush off when actually it's very awful. I put that story in the book because it's about highlighting the reality, the shit we deal with and what gets sent to us constantly, particularly in environments that are predominantly cis and heterosexual." I don't know. It's kind of, if I go into a gay bar, right? Say I go into a gay bar and I order a beer and one of the fellas is like, "Hey, you're not really straight, you're gay, and I'm going to prove it to you by fucking your brains out." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I'm not gay. I'm going to pass on that," right? I wouldn't really think that's a threat so much as just some dude hitting on me. I'd be like, some dude has hit on me in a bar. I'm in a gay bar, so it makes sense that a dude would hit on me. Again, I'm not here to excuse people's behavior. I'm not here to say that, what was said was good or nice. I'm just saying it sounds like a really bad pickup line. Appropriate? Probably not. Probably not. But, I mean, people get hit on all the time, right? It's like you're saying, if a fat chick hits on you, you'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm offended. Why would a fat chick hit on me? Fat chick should know better than to hit on me," right? You'd be like, what is the R word? Republic? As the Amico investment? No. I much prefer the Mike Tyson version. "I'll fuck you till you love me." Followed by the F word. "If it were Bud Light, just drink it and you'll become gay." It's true. It's true. I don't drink beer at all. I've never really liked the taste of beer. I think the only beer I've ever drank is probably that Mexican one. What the hell is it? Come on, help me out. It's the big one. Not Dos Equis, not Tecate, the other one. What the hell is that other Mexican beer? Fuck. How can I not remember? Corona. Corona is the only beer. How did I not know that? We're in the pandemic. Corona is the only beer that I've drank. It's not great. Yeah, smash the like. Thanks, James. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, Jim. Corona. Put the little lime in it. Drink it. It's not great. It's not fantastic. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Paige added, I'm purposely not sharing his name, but he will hear about this and know it's him. That's what I think is the dumbest part about this whole thing. Right? You're going to make this whole, like, chapter about this dude who hit on you or whatever, like, fucking threatened you to fuck you good. Threatened me with a good time. And then you're like, I'm not going to name him. He's going to know who he is, right? That doesn't really work, right? Like, some dude's not going to be like, oh, man, how dare Elliot Page talk about me in his book, right? Or he's not going to go around telling people that's me that said that. No, he's going to be like, haha, you dumbass, you didn't name me. No one's going to care, right? No one's going to care unless you name names. Name names. If you think it was so bad, if you honestly think it was bad and inappropriate and probably should be called out, then name some names, right? I don't understand. I don't see why people have to announce to everyone who they want to bump uglies with behind closed doors. Seriously, who cares? I mean, that's a good point. It is we're in 2023 now, right? We're in 2023. Gay people exist, trans people exist, lesbians, all the spectrum of weird sexual fetishes. They're all out there, right? People know. But at the end of the day, I don't really care, and I don't want to hear about it, right? Unless you want to bump uglies with me, unless you're like, hey, I'm going to hit on you, I really don't want to hear about it, right? And if you're hitting on me, it's a case-by-case basis whether or not I will reciprocate, right? What I'm saying, I agree with don't worry, be happy, right? You don't need to make a public announcement, Straight people don't come out. Could you imagine if you were like, hey, I'm straight, just like everybody to know at this year's Oscars that I am straight. I like women. Women are sexy. I find them very attractive, and I want all of you to know that I like women. Could you imagine if someone did that? It'd be like weird, right? It'd be weird. But if you went on and say, "Hey, I'm gay," everybody, I'm gay. I like the dick. Then you get applauded, which is kind of weird. In real life, if Tony's portrayed in a movie, he'll be race swapped with an Asian or black guy. Damn. Your Latino Corona's like water to you. It's true. It's true. Oh, straight pride parade. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, for all the things gay people say, right? Like, certain things I get certain things, and then other things I'm just like, why? Right? There's no straight pride parade. Like, no one cares. No one's like, oh yeah, fucking, I don't go out of my house like, oh, I'm fucking great to be straight. Fantastic. Fucking great day. Heterosexual. Hell yeah. I'm not flying like a special flag. Like, this is my special heterosexual flag, and putting stickers all over my car. Like, I like the pussy. Just, putting I like the pussy stickers on cars and stuff. Like, no one cares. No one cares, right? Because being straight is super common and not taboo. But we're told, 56K, we're told that being gay shouldn't be taboo, right? If it's not taboo, if it's not, that's weird, right? Ooh, it's gay. Right? If it's not like that, if it's supposed to be just like, oh, he's gay, right? Then who cares? Stop with all the pride stuff, right? Just, I don't know. Why do men not have a day? Women have a day. Gays get an entire month. Men have a day. There's an International Men's Day. Jam. No one celebrates it because no one cares because men suck. But there is an International Men's Day. Google never recognizes it. Google never puts a little like Google Doodle or whatever. But International Men's Day is November 19th. So mark your calendars. November 19th, International Men's Day. And nobody's going to care. But it's there. It's called Super Bowl Day. Oof. Why is it the race swapping always from white to something else? How come there's no whitewashing? Magic the Gathering made Aragon black. There was, okay, so here's the thing, right? We got to be honest. We have to be completely honest with ourselves, okay? We have to take a step back. Old Hollywood did have a problem with casting white actors to play non-white roles, specifically like Asians. Remember, Charlie Chan was played by a non-Asian actor. Breakfast at Tiffany's, Mickey Rooney plays an Asian. So there are a lot of instances of race swapping prior in old Hollywood from something else to a white actor playing it. What's his name? John Wayne. Didn't John Wayne play Genghis Khan in the movie? Short Circuit Indian guy, yeah. So there is some race swapping before, right? And we did call it out. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. When people realize, they're like, wait a minute, that's wrong. That's wrong to have a white guy playing an Asian. That's wrong to have a white guy putting on blackface to play a black character, right? We recognize it. We said that is wrong. We haven't recognized the reverse yet, right? We're just like, hey, let's just race swap things. I myself think that if you're going to push for diversity, just create something new, right? Create something new. The problem is that the people who want diversity are also not very creative. They don't have any ideas. They just want to leech off of what's already there, right? This is popular. Spider-Man's popular, so we're going to race swap characters because then those characters are going to be in big blockbuster movies, right? That's the thing. They want to be in big blockbuster movies. They don't want to wait. They don't want to develop a character, have a character become popular, and then get a big blockbuster movie. No, they want to be in the big blockbuster movie now, right? They don't want to make a new Disney princess and then see if she catches on and then create a big movie event. They're just like, fuck it, we're going to take this one, right? We're taking this one. That's a problem. Spider-Verse was the answer for Spider-Man. Yeah. As far as Aragon being black, I think Magic the Gathering is stupid. Again, why? There's literally no reason to race swap the characters in the art. 0%, just none. Sony hit it big. Marvel got the short end of the stick of the short end of the white Spider-Man stick. Not really, because Marvel still gets paid. Disney and Marvel still gets a percentage of the movies being made by Sony. Right? Sony doesn't keep 100% of the money, as far as I'm aware. There's a certain percentage that goes to Marvel. Jan Del Santos, Egyptian people, Cleopatra is Macedonian. Greek archaeologists, Cleopatra is Macedonian. Greek, my grandmother, Cleopatra is black. Yeah. MCU Spider-Man is ass. I like it. I like Tom Holland. I think he does a pretty decent job. I mean, he's not for everybody, but I think he does a pretty decent job. Why is everything gotta be crazy? All right. So this is this one stood out to me. The Hollywood Reporter, Tavi Gevinson. Auditions are work. Pay us. And guest essay. The Gossip Girl actor and Rookie magazine founder writes that too many in Hollywood, including herself until recently, undervalue a huge part of the profession. I realized how little I knew about auditions. Value as not simply opportunities for us, but commodities that studios need. This lady here, I'm guessing it's a lady. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if Tabby is a boy's name or a girl's name, but I'm pretty sure, just by the fact that they want money, that it's going to be a lady. Yes, it's a lady. And it's a white lady. Weird how that works. Auditions are tryouts. Get the fuck. That's what I'm saying, right? Could you imagine if you went to a job and you filled out an application? You're like, all right, pay me $10. I just filled out an application. Where's my $10? Right? Yeah, exactly, 56K, exactly what I just said. It's a tryout. You're trying out. Do you imagine how many people audition? If they started paying you, if they started paying for auditions, I haven't even read the article, but I know that if they started paying for auditions, they would close auditions for just about everything, right? The amount of people that would be allowed to audition, open auditions would be a thing of the past. We would be stuck with the same 6 actors and actresses because they're like, fuck it, we don't want to audition people. We don't want to pay. Are you aware of the Netflix Cleopatra controversy? Jada Pinkett Smith is off for rocker. Instead of casting actual African queens, they made Cleopatra black. Yeah, I heard about it. It's stupid. Anything Jada touches is garbage. Her kids, her marriage, her husband's manhood. That other dude that she got entangled with. There it is. I should just scroll down. See, if I would just scroll down, I would have seen it is a lady. It is both obvious and radical to say that auditions are work. Actors are even supposed to be paid for them. What? SAG-AFTRA's contract with the studio state that we're entitled to half our scale day rate for every audition we perform, but don't book for a TV show, studio feature, or high budget indie. Since our day rate is $1,082, that's $541. How can a legal right feel so risky to talk about, even for people who agree that this payment is fair? Who agrees that this payment is fair? How is this in a contract? Who was stupid enough to say, yeah, we should pay people for auditions? When I first learned about this audition pay last fall, from a video by Sarah Ramos, an emergency response team of arguments rushed through my head. Auditions are job interviews. Casting directors will hate it. Producers can't afford it. I'm just lucky to be following my dream. That is, I viewed it from several perspectives except for that of an unionized laborer. I learned that my work was already worth more than I thought it was. That I could have made $1,000 that week alone, and my response was, I'm good. Could you imagine you're going to get paid $541 to not even make the job, to not even get the job? How is this? This is insane. This is insane. Hollywood is freaking insane. This bitch is crazy. Yeah. Cute white blonde chicks are a dime a dozen in Hollywood. Who's paying her to show up? How special is she? She's on a show. She's on Gossip Girl or something like that. Only one person will get the role and then audition out of so many. Could be 5 people auditioning. It could be over 20. Could be more, right? If this is going to be a thing, I'm changing my career to actor auditioner. I would make a kill. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. 56K. And I'll go to Hollywood. Just audition. 2 auditions a week. I'll be rolling. Shit. Hold on. But next time I spent hours making a self-tape, it seemed absurd that this commissioned performance should cost Netflix the same as a link to my reel. I had recently watched actors' tapes with a screenwriter friend and was amazed by the countless detailed artistic decisions of each performer. They saved my imagination a lot of work. Perhaps they would all, like me, say they were just lucky to be there. That didn't take away from the obvious value they created for the production. I realized how little I knew about auditions' value as not simply opportunities for us, but commodities that studios need. Oh my God. I hope this goes through. I hope they make a huge deal about this and just kill the entire fucking industry, right? This is why reality TV shows are so favorable by Hollywood types, right? Because no auditions, you don't have to pay them all kind of money. Not succeeding at your job is the new job. Yeah. This is insane. That's why since January, I've met regularly with other SAG-AFTRA members to form a group called Auditions Are Work, talking with performers and casting professionals, studying our contracts over time, and learning how auditions have evolved has given me context for several challenges performers face today. As the union heads into negotiations with the studios June 7th, many actors understand the importance of equipping them with a strike authorization vote to help win greater residuals. Employer contributions to health and pension plans, and AI protections. AI protections. They don't want the robots taking their job. Robots is taking our jobs. It also strengthens our positions to be aware of untapped revenue sources that are already in our contract that we don't have to negotiate for. The studios have agreed to audition pay every 3 years since 1947 and paid claims when performers have filed them. We are sitting on a highly valuable provision. It's fully enforced. It would strengthen our health and pension plans and enable more members to qualify for them. I also want actors to know about it because the studios may seek to remove it. I'll get to that. It would be a mistake to lose it without serious union-wide discussion. Unlike the wages that pertain only to on-set jobs, audition pay applies to our workforce's most frequent service. Man, this would kill. Tony explained to me when men get 1 day, women get 1 day, gays get an entire month. Well, you see, the thing is, gays are men and women, right? It's not like straight men get 1 day. See, that's what you're not thinking clearly, Jam. It's not straight men get 1 day. It's not straight women get 1 day, and then gay people get an entire month, right? It's all men, straight and gay, get a day. All women, straight and gay, get a day. Gays get an entire month, and then there's no straight pride, right? Straights don't get an entire month. That's the argument. You see, you're conflating some things here that don't jive, right? So, the men and women thing are equal, and that's fine. The gays and straights, that's where the inequality comes in. There's really no straight pride. And I am offended. Since audition pay has become a topic of debate outside our union, some industry professionals publicly dismiss it without perhaps understanding that they've implicitly undermining our contract and endorsing corporations paying freelancers below their minimum rates. It's as though the studios are obviously terrible that their basic legal responsibilities seem irrelevant, or maybe acting is such a rarefied profession that people who do it don't seem to need protections. These misconceptions are partly why I did not pay attention to my own union or contracts for so long, thinking that as long as I was making a living, it would be silly, even entitled, to care about actors' wages. I wrongly conflated my own good fortune with our whole workforce and was late to notice that the type of stability I was trying for doesn't even exist anymore. You can now be both successful working actor, landing covetable jobs, and a struggling actor, earning less than the healthcare threshold, receiving wimpy residuals for shows that made the streamers rich. I'm getting sick and tired of this argument, right? And the argument of actors, writers, and stuff not getting residuals. Look, there's no guarantee that a show is going to be a success. That is the risk that people make when they put on a show, right? When they pay for a show to be made, they are risking whether or not that show is going to be a success. It's the same way that a person risks their money when they try to make a business, right? If I make a business, say, hey, I'm going to start selling rocks for $10. I'm selling Tony's Gratitude rocks, $10, right? And I hire you guys at minimum wage, right? I'm paying you guys at minimum wage to go out, pick up rocks, label them Gratitude rocks, put them in plastic bags, and fill out the shipping forms and send them out, right? And let's say I start making tons of money. You guys aren't entitled to it. You guys are 100% not entitled to my money, right? It's my business. I put the risk up. I put the starting capital. If the business failed, right? If the business failed, you're not going to give me money, right? If the show fails, the actors are not giving money to the studio like, oh, sorry that show failed. Here's some money back, right? So no, this whole idea of residuals, right? That they deserve it, that it is theirs. Without them, the show wouldn't. You didn't put up the money. That's the problem. You didn't put up the money. You didn't put up the risk. You did a job. You were paid for a job. You should just get your money and be happy. Yeah. BLM should have said police department is pro-trans. The boycott would have worked. Now we have less watered-down beer on the market. Bad trade. Not really, because The boycott sort of worked, but the company behind that beer, the beer that people started buying, is the same company, right? They traded one light beer for another, and it's the same company behind it, right? So it sort of worked, but in reality it didn't. So no one stopped drinking light beer. They just stopped drinking Bud Light. Yeah, I agree, George. Sounds like entitlement from the actors. Gratitude rocks are still not in the Frog store. What a shame. I'm gonna sell small, tiny gratitude pebbles for $5 pop. Don't worry. We're working on it, Jam. We're working on it. Only 12.7% of our membership currently makes the annual $26,470 needed to qualify for union health insurance. I don't. Again, should a actor who is a nobody doing bit parts, should they get health insurance? Should they be entitled? Come on. In 2020, thousands of our members were kicked off the health plan, including 8,200 seniors who had been paying for lifetime coverage and had decades of credits. It is possible to give an Oscar-winning performance and a Best Picture winner that broke A24's records and not qualify for health care the following year. That happens, right? I could be at a job for 30 years. 30 years I could be at a job. And if my hours are cut and I no longer qualify for health insurance, then I no longer qualify for health insurance. Actors really seem to think that they're special, right? That they need special protections. They need all these things, Meanwhile, day laborers, regular people, get cut off their insurance all the time. Regular people, if they lose their job through layoffs or furloughs or plants being closed, we just lose our health insurance. Your health insurance is just gone. You could pay an exorbitant amount for extended health insurance, and they always offer these ridiculous things. Oh, you can get this other insurance. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg, but you could pay it. I know you don't have a job now, which is why you don't have insurance, but you could pay out a whole bunch of money. We need frog pins. I can't get jiggy with the mug. If it's such a big deal, 5% of all contracts over $1 million go to insurance fund. I bet that won't happen. Yeah, exactly. See, they should really do stuff like that, right? See, as an actor, like if you're paying into the guild, right? 5% of what you make, regardless of your contract, right, should go into the fund. Not a number, right? Not like everyone gives $500. No, percentage. More money you make, the more money goes into the fund. But they won't. We take up space on screen, but we don't share fairly in the profits of a $660 billion industry. You shouldn't. It's not fairly, right? Shut the fuck up. This lady is driving me nuts. Driving me fucking nuts. A busboy working at a restaurant should not be making the same as the manager. Should not be, McDonald's makes millions of dollars, right? But the guy working the drive-thru is not entitled to a percentage of the $1 million because they work the fucking drive-thru, right? Just because you're an extra or you're on screen, or even if you're the lead in the film, you're not entitled to all this other residuals and shit. Again, you didn't invest in the fucking movie to begin with, right? That's the thing. You didn't invest. You didn't take the risk. No risk, no reward. Fucking people. While Hollywood celebrates individuals' work to promote its shows and movies, our workforce labor is largely misrepresented. Most actors are not Oscar winners, and most Oscar winners have spent most of their careers auditioning. Oh, poor baby. This dissonance makes it all the more urgent for actors to speak openly on the reality of our profession and the value of all that we contribute to productions. I want to share what I've learned after months of such conversations and make it easier to say that auditions are work. Simply put, auditions require labor. They typically entail reading the script, memorizing the sides, crafting a character, and rehearsing a performance, all before the audition itself. I mean, you don't do anything else. I'm not here to belittle the acting profession. I'm not here to say that a day labor job is harder than an acting job. But come on. Fucking read the room. In any fairly paid job, time spent working for one employer is understood as time you can't spend on another. And while $541 might seem like a shocking price for an audition, it's half our day rate. I've definitely put more labor into certain auditions than I have some days on set. I got to buy a brand new suit. I got to, get myself all ready. I gotta memorize things. I gotta fill out a bunch of paperwork. Whenever I go to do an application for a big time job, I gotta do a bunch of stuff. I gotta do a bunch of preparing. I gotta look over things. I gotta be ready for the questions that they're gonna ask me. They should pay me. I should go in there and be like, hey, the starting salary is, $150,000 a year. I'm gonna need you to pay me half of that. I'm gonna need half of that just for coming in. Like a signing bonus, except for like a showing up bonus. Give me money to show. Give me a couple grand. Give me $500 for showing up for application. Self-tapes have also offloaded technical labor and production costs onto actors. A recent report estimated that requiring performers to provide readers have saved producers $250 million annually. That's not including our space, equipment, and software, and the edit time. To think I ever wondered how they could afford to pay us. What it does is it gauges how serious you are in the job, right? Say, hey, you got to provide your own tapes. You got to do this stuff. Let's see how serious you are. What are you willing to do? How far are you willing to go for this job? That's what they want to see. This lady has more dumb word salads than Phil Adam. Yeah. She wants workers to get investor money. That's what I'm saying. Participation trophy nominees want their cut. Yeah, I showed up. I need money. She has the same mindset as many Google employees. They want to be paid to do little or no work. Shocker when the company laid them off. Yeah. I've met so many people like this. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Entitlement. Whether self-taped or in person, auditions make it possible for producers to assemble casts from a place of knowledge, not speculation. They get to experience their material interpreted by professionals and to further develop it. A character is created when a skilled actor brings the words off the page. More crudely, producers can use auditions as bargaining chips against an offer or as instant backups. The producers now require casting directors to commission 100 to 500 tapes per role. Per one casting director, the new industry standard, and more, then she can watch it in full. I imagine it's because having a range of auditions is valuable. Some actors I know have gone on auditions only to discover that they're the only non-white actors in the waiting room. When white actors booked the roles, these actors suspected they may have been tokenized in their audition process by producers who were not serious about inclusivity. Another friend recently did an extensive audition process for a part that went to the famous producer's famous relative. Auditions perform many functions for studios, and we expect to do them without knowing if our chances of the role are 1 in 30 or 1 in 500. I go to jobs all the time. I don't know if my chances of getting it are 1 in a million. Right? Just because I apply to a job, I should not be entitled to money. Auditions are not job interviews. They're unique work samples commissioned by producers that we can't refuse for other jobs. We can't reuse for other jobs. Well, it's the same thing, when you come in for certain jobs, if you're in advertising, they want you to have a pitch deck, Let me see what you're capable of. For jobs that involve creative works like art, they want to see your samples, right? I don't know of any profession where workers go on job interviews at that rate that working actors audition in such large candidate pools for jobs that can be as brief as one day and which rarely in themselves come with benefits. Then stop working, right? If you don't stop being an actor. It's just that simple. SAG's founders included pay for camera tests in our first contract in 1937. 10 years later, it was updated to include audition pay. If the player is not given employment in the picture, the player shall receive 1/2 day of pay. Far from a era oddity, it is one of many protections that from that time that our contract included to this day. Pay for overtime, travel time, the list goes on. Some point out that there were fewer actors back in 1947, that the industry has changed. Correct. It is more profitable than ever. It includes TV and streaming. It's owned by tech corporations, media conglomerates, and private equity firms. All this time, the union and producers have agreed to keep audition pay in the contract, and all this time, auditions have become more work and save producers more money. Last September, SAG-AFTRA responded to members' interest in audition pay by issuing a statement saying it would only pursue members' claims if you are kept waiting over an hour for the audition to start, if you perform a camera test, or if you are expressly required to memorize lines. In the contract, wait time and camera tests are paid separate from audition pay, and there is no language about memorization requirements. Since then, actors have received audition requests that say we aren't required to memorize, indicating that producers may seek to remove audition pay from the contract this month. I hope they do. Hope they do. Jesus Christ, how long is this goddamn art? Okay, this lady just wants money. You know, this is a long ass article. This lady want money. She want money for going there, right? Is high risk, high reward not a thing anymore? I thought becoming a famous actor was tough. I'm a contractor. I don't know who I'm bidding against or how many. I just have to do my best every time. Hours of work before I even land a job. That's what I'm saying, right? For a lot of contract work, you got to prepare a pitch deck. You got to prepare. You don't know who you're going against. You don't know who you're bidding against. You don't know what offer they're offering. You might have a little inkling, but you don't know everything, right? You got to put something together, and you got to wow them. And a lot of times, you're not going to get it, right? You're not going to get it for a variety of reasons. Maybe the other person's cheaper. Maybe the other person is better. Maybe the other pitch had a better understanding of what they were looking for. Maybe they hired their uncle, and you were just there to pretend like, kabuki theater for that they were actually auditioning people. They were actually hearing pitches. She can also set up an OnlyFans account. She could. She's not bad looking. She'd probably do pretty good on OnlyFans. She'd make some money. Yeah, that article's fucking. I didn't think it was that long. This is what happens when you don't plan ahead. When you just start reading shit. Alright. If we haven't been canceled already, I'm sure this next article is going to get me canceled. Because my initial reaction was, this is bullshit. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Bill Cosby sued again for sexual assault after state extends statute of limitations. Victoria Valento, a former Playboy centerfold model, says Cosby raped her more than 50 years ago as she was mourning the death of her son. More suits could be filed. Just going off of this headline, I think this is kind of bullshit. We have a thing in law, right? No ex post facto, right? You can't get in trouble. They can't make a new law, right? So if they say, if tomorrow they said, hey, live streaming is illegal. If you live stream, you'll get arrested, right? So they make that law tomorrow. They can't arrest me for live streaming today, right? Because I live streamed when it was legal. Now, what Bill Cosby did was horrible. However, we had statutes of limitations, right? They were set. His statute of limitation expired. It expired. It was over. I don't see how it's legal that you can then extend the statute of limitation and be like, well, no, actually, it didn't expire because we just extended it. Seems kind of bad. Seems like a bad precedent, right? And that they could just start changing the rules on how things work because, like I can understand saying, hey, you know what? We should have made it 50 years instead of 30. We should have made it 50. Bill Cosby gets a slide by because it already passed. But the next guy doesn't because now it's 50, right? That I can understand. But extending it and then going, haha, Bill, we caught you. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. I don't like it. I don't like the precedent being set here. A former Playboy model, who was among the first women to come forward with rape allegations against Bill Cosby decades ago, has filed a lawsuit against the comedian under a California law that extends the window to sue in sexual assault cases. The suit from Victoria Valentino, filed on Thursday in Los Angeles Superior Court, accusing Cosby of raping her in 1969, may be the first in a series of suits in California against the 85-year-old, who's facing an avalanche of similar civil litigation in New York. More accusers could sue utilizing the state law that gives them until the end of the year to sue regardless of how long ago the alleged assault happened. In a statement, Cosby's spokesperson Andrew Wyatt denied the allegation. He said it's deeply disturbing and disappointing that the statute of limitations was lifted in sheer violation of all Americans' constitutional rights. This I agree with. I don't want to agree with, the Cosby lawyer. But again, this sets such a bad precedent. We have rules, right? Rules are in place for a reason. You can't just start throwing them out the window whenever you don't like it. What graveyard can Mr. Cosby visit in order to dig up potential witnesses to testify on his behalf, he added. America is continuing to see that this formula to make sure that no more black men in America accumulate the American dream that was secured by Mr. Cosby. I don't know about all that now. Cosby served more than 2 years of a prison sentence of up to 10 years after he was convicted of aggravated indecent assault against Andrew Constant. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned the conviction in 2021 due to a non-prosecution agreement with the previous district attorney. Last year, a Los Angeles jury found Cosby liable for sexually abusing a 16-year-old girl at the Playboy Mansion in 1975. Why the hell was there a 16-year-old girl at the Playboy Mansion in 1975, right? I think that's a question people need to ask, right? In her suit, Valentino says she met Cosby in 1969 when she auditioned for an acting role. Later that year, she says Cosby approached her and a friend at Cafe Figaro in Los Angeles after he saw her crying over the death of her son. He offered to pay for both of them to get a stream bath at a spa and then meet them at Sunset Strip Steakhouse for dinner. There, she alleged Cosby gave them pills. Here, take this. It'll make you feel better, Valentino says. Cosby told her in the complaint, it'll make us all feel better. Cosby then drove them to his office where Valentino says she fell unconscious and awoke to being raped. Plaintiff shook her friend awake and they attempted to use the phone inside the office, but it was a prop phone and there was no phone jack. Writes Michael Reck, a lawyer for Valentino in the suit. Plaintiff and her friend ran out of the office building, disorientated, trying to figure out their location. They finally found the cab to take them back to plaintiff's house. Valentino alleges she has suffered severe emotional, physical, and psychological distress because of the sexual assault. In an interview with the Washington Post in 2014, Valentino says she told her friend and fellow Playboy bunny, Francesca Emerson, of the rape. Emerson confirmed to the Post that Valentina recounted the incident to her decades ago. She could be called a witness in the case. Additionally, the suit looks to name unknown defendants who were legally responsible in some manner for the events, including agents, employees, and joint ventures of Cosby. Now a bunch of people are getting sued. I agree with you, Tony. However, I do not mind Bill Cosby getting screwed. Well, here's the thing, right? It's not just like Bill Cosby's the headline, right? Poof, he's the headline. But there's going to be a lot of other people that are going to be not headlines, right? Because they're not important people. And then, I remember seeing Bill Cosby at my sister's graduation back in 2012. Oof. Sucks when you have to defend the rights of a shithead. That's what I'm saying, right? I don't want to defend I hate that. I hate when the world puts me in the position to go, that guy's a shithead, but constitutional rights. That guy's a shithead, but doxing is wrong, right? I hate that. Tracy Lords exist. I doubt they were checking IDs in the 70s. Actually, they were, Super J. Tracy Lords, if you don't know, for people who are unaware, Tracy Lords was an adult film actress who was actually underage when she made her movies, making every single Tracy Lords adult film illegal, except one in which Tracy Lords made after she became 18 legally. From what I've gathered, from what I've heard, Tracy Lords lied and provided false information, like a false ID, a fake ID. Were they negligent in following up on everything? Probably, but she did try to slip it past them, right? She did slip it past them, essentially. They weren't looking hard enough, but she was, at the same time, also, trying to sneak it past them. Tony talking porn? No, not really. I'm just, someone mentioned Tracy Lords. Jam says, why did Cosby need to force women? I'm sure a lot of women would have wanted Cosby. Well, here's the thing, Jam. Some people are weird, right? Some people are weird. And they have weird fetishes, right? And it's possible that Cosby just liked women that were knocked out, right? Cosby had a drugged woman fetish. A lot of people choose right and wrong based on who they like or dislike. That's true. I try to be consistent in my approach to things. In suit against Cosby filed in New York, 5 women sued multiple companies, including NBC Universal, involved with the Cosby Show as well as the comedian. They said the companies knew or should have known that he was assaulting women on their premises, but did nothing to stop it. To continue profiting from the public perception that he was, quote, America's dad, the suit was filed under the state's Adult Survivors Act, which suspended time constraints on claims involving sex offenses for a 1-year period. On Wednesday, Nevada passed a law eliminating the statute of limitations in civil sexual abuse case involving adults. Why involving adults only? Hopefully there was already one involving children, and this is just like the adult one catching up, hopefully. And that's the end of that. And we just got the lawsuit. We don't need to go over it. Like I said, don't like Cosby. I don't agree with anything Cosby did. I think Cosby's a horrible, horrible human being. But that said, I'm not for changing the law in order to prosecute people, right? If they somehow snuck by and they're in the clear, then we need to fix the system. Right? But we can't just start extending things, right? We can't just start changing the laws in order to get people, because that's going to lead to persecution. That's going to lead to political motivations. Tommy Tellerico, Bill Cosby was a dear friend of mine. It's possible. They were working on a Cosby Show game for the Amico. They were in talks. I'm sure of it. All right. Let's go to something more happy. They're trying to pull a Disney with the Mickey Mouse patent. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Andor showrunner spoils the ending of season 2. Now, this was surprising, right? I was surprised by this. And if you don't want to know how Andor season 2 ends, I suggest you skedaddle for about 15 to 20 minutes, because we're going to be talking Andor. But here's the thing. Are you ready? Everybody who doesn't want to be spoiled is gone. So Andor season 2 is going to end where Rogue One begins. Which is weird, because originally Andor was supposed to be 5 seasons. Then it was supposed to be 3 seasons. Now I guess it's only 2 seasons. So it's been cut down again. Andor showrunner Tony Gilroy spoiled the ending for season 2 of the hit Star Wars series. The Diego Luna starring Disney Plus series is headed for its sophomore season on the streamer, telling the story of Cassian Andor before the events of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. From day one, it has been teased that Andor would answer the question, how did we end there in Rogue One? But exactly what that means has remained a massive question mark. With season 2 of the side take on a Cold War thriller currently in production, despite the ongoing writer strike, it could be some time before fans see the series come to a close on Disney Plus. But that is not to say news on Andor front will go silent anytime soon. There it is. Despite Andor Season 2 being in the midst of production, showrunner Tony Gilroy revealed how the series will end. Spoiling the Season 2 ending, Gilroy told Entertainment Weekly that critically acclaimed Star Wars series will end with Diego Luna's Cassian Andor walking out to the ship to Rings of Camfree to meet Tivik, a.k.a. the first mission seen at the beginning of Rogue One. We said that in the first junket. He's going to be walking up. I didn't mind. They were like, do you want to say that? Or whatever. I didn't mind because that is our frame. And everyone should know, and it's good to define it in a weird way. Yeah, he's going to be walking out to the ship to Rings of Catherine to meet Tivik. He's on his way to that first mission. So that's our final. That's our farewell. On the subject of Andor ending, Gilroy also told the playlist, our final scene of the show is no secret, describing the same getting on the ship sequence heading off to his Rogue One mission. Yeah, I mean, our final scene of the show is no secret. It's going to be Cassian walking across the tarmac to get in the ship to go to the Rings of Catherine, to go meet Daniel May's Tivik informant character that Cassian kills in Rogue One because he becomes a liability. He's going there. Why Andor's ending doesn't matter. Andor finds itself in an interesting spot that not a lot of TV or movies does, in that the ending doesn't really matter. Audiences already know where this character is going to go, what he will go through, and how he will ultimately come to his ultimate end. Wasn't that the problem with Rogue One, though? Rogue One in and of itself was basically like we knew where it was going to end. We knew where Rogue One had to end because all those characters don't exist in Star Wars. So the whole thing is like, you know? All right, let's see. Audiences already know where this character is going to go, what he will go through, and how he will ultimately come to his ultimate end. And that is not as though Andor will end in any significant amount of time before when fans next see him. In the same way that Rogue One bled directly into A New Hope, Andor Season 2 will bleed directly into Rogue One. So the ending feels almost insignificant, but that leads to the point that can be truly special. It is ultimately a credit to what Tony Gilroy and his team have done, that viewers are as brought into this journey as they are knowing that his story will go. As Gilroy said elsewhere in the playlist interview, it's not about when and where of this story, but rather how and why. So while audiences may know what is going to happen, seeing what the characters go through to get there is where Andor works its magic. No release date for Season 2. Again, ultimately, I thought this was going to be longer. I'm very disappointed to hear that's only 2 seasons. Bad, Disney, bad. Yeah, check out our merch. All right, that's all for the spoilers on Andor. Let's move right along to our last bit of controversy here. Ezra Miller to attend the Flash premiere in Los Angeles. Ezra Miller has been keeping a low profile in recent months, but will make an appearance at the LA premiere of The Flash. How many women do you think Ezra Miller is going to choke in LA? Put in the comments how many women you think Ezra Miller will choke slam at the premiere of The Flash. I'm going to say at least 2. At least 2 women will be assaulted by Ezra Miller at the premiere. All right. Embattled actor Ezra Miller will make a public appearance this month in support of The Flash. Though Miller is a star of the superhero movie, the actor has not been taking part in any of the press coverage. That was expected, as there has been a lot of controversy attached to Miller over the past year due to the various criminal charges and serious allegations made against them. Miller uses they/them pronouns. Thank you for letting me know. Last summer, Miller announced that they had sought professional help for their mental health struggles. The director and producers of The Flash have stood by Miller throughout the ordeal. Though Miller has kept a very low profile since making that announcement, Variety reports that the actor will be in attendance at the Los Angeles premiere of The Flash June 12th. But while they'll be on the red carpet to pose for photos, Miller won't be participating in any interviews with the press at the event. Michael Keaton, who co-stars in the film alongside Miller, won't be attending as he is currently working on a project in London. Director Andy Muschietti will also be present alongside The Flash stars Sasha Calle, Michael Shannon, and Ben Affleck. While very unusual for a tentpole movie's lead star to skip the promotional blitz leading up to the release, it was certainly no surprise in this case, given the controversy in Miller's continued mental health treatment. Some may be more surprised to learn that Miller will still be making an appearance at the LA premiere. It was explained that Miller wanted to avoid doing interviews as they may take the focus away from the movie itself. DC just needs a recast. DC been rebooting for over 2 decades, it seems. No one would care. No one would care. I didn't like Ezra Miller's Flash, to be honest. I thought that was the worst casting. Saggy cares. Yeah. Saggy loves Ezra Miller. That's what I hear. She's going to chase him down. If he shows up, if he does show up at this premiere, you know the press are going to they're going to be all over him. You think the press isn't going to be trying to be in his face, trying to get some questions answered? He might not be at the press junket. Oh, but there's going to be a lot of people with mics, cameras, screaming fucking questions at him. Ezra wants the movie to open and the conversation to be about the movie and not about Ezra. Variety quotes a source close to Miller as saying, "They are focused on their mental health and don't want it to be transactional." The Flash might get a sequel. No. The film is tracking to be a huge success at the box office. No, it's not. And if that holds out, it would seem that the controversy attached to Miller isn't enough to derail The Flash. While there are still people out there swearing off the film due to Miller's involvement, there's a good chance that a sequel could happen if the movie is as much of a blockbuster as expected. No, it can't. Right? I don't understand. I'm not James Gunn. I'm not in the writer's room. But how is it that this is supposed to end the previous universe and start a new universe and then have a sequel in the new? That makes no sense, right? No. There's even a finished screenplay that's ready to go, and Muschietti has promised that Barry Allen will not be recast if a sequel gets greenlit by the studio. We will not take Ezra Miller's ability to chokeslam women in Iceland away from him. I don't think there's anyone that can play the character as well as they did. Muschietti recently explained on the Discourse podcast, the other depictions of the character are great, but this particular vision of the character, they just excelled in doing it. And as you said, the two Barrys, it feels like a character that was made for them. I don't know. Again, I thought Ezra Miller was the weakest part of Justice League. I didn't like his portrayal of Barry Allen. I didn't like his portrayal of the Flash. The press won't control themselves. That's what I'm saying, George. The press is going to be all over that ass. The press is going to be right in his face. Now, this is interesting, right? Because they're talking about the Flash is going to make all kind of money. But the Flash movie announces free early screenings. What? What movie? What big blockbuster movie that the studio is just sure it's going to make, they weren't giving out free tickets to Spider-Man. They weren't giving out, to Spider-Man No Way Home. They weren't giving out big tickets to the Avengers Endgame or Infinity War. Lucky fans in a select few U.S. cities can take part in early screenings of The Flash for free. Ezra Miller's upcoming DCU epic is set to race into theaters after years of development and a handful of delays. The film, directed by Andy Muschietti, has had praise heaped upon it in the run-up to release, with the likes of Tom Cruise and other Hollywood royalty publicly saying they, quote, love the movie so much. I don't believe in the term Hollywood royalty, right? There is no royalty in America. And it has not just been stars who have gotten to see the movie early, with a number of fan screenings also happening long before The Flash's June 16 release date. A U.S.-based movie ticketing company, Fandango, announced a series of early screenings for the upcoming DC film, The Flash. These early screenings will occur on Wednesday, June 7th, 2023 at 7 p.m. local time. Below is a list of participating theaters. Cinemark Hollywood, AMC New City, AMC North Park, UA Colorado, Cinemark 16, Regal, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go through all these. Basically, we got some California, some Washington, D.C., Texas, Utah, Arizona, Florida, New York, Tennessee, I said California, Hawaii, and Illinois, right? So if you live in any of those cities, Amarillo, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Harlingen, Honolulu, Houston, Los Angeles, Nashville, New York, Orlando, Phoenix, Sacramento, Salt Lake City, San Antonio, San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, or Washington, D.C., you got a chance to get free tickets to see The Flash. Aren't you excited? Tickets for these free fan screenings can be reserved now. Some locations are currently full, but there is a wait list available for those theaters that have filled up. Why go see The Flash early? No idea. While DC's track record has not been all that great as of late, there's plenty of excitement surrounding The Flash. No, there's not. What excitement? I've seen nobody excited. Other than the idiots who think that the Snyderverse is somehow going to continue, there is nothing. Ezra as Blue Beetle would have worked. He has it. Clown it factor. Oof. That's another reason it won't make a lot of money. They keep handing out free screenings. Yeah, they're handing out free screenings because they're trying to build hype. They want these people to go to the free screenings and be like, "Oh my God, the movie's so great! You got to watch it. You got to go see it." They're gonna tell all their friends. It's not gonna happen. Fandango was a wrestler who dances. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. If there's a DC film to go see early, this breakneck speed multiversal adventure seems to be the one. The movie received stellar early reviews from critics, with superlatives like among the best superhero films ever made, being bandied about. And that is not even considering the high praise newly appointed DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn is giving the film. Of course, do you think James Gunn would be like, "Hey, this movie sucks"? I don't know what the previous regime was thinking. This movie's fucking... No, of course he's going to say it's great. Come on. Plus, this feels like the kind of big screen blockbuster where spoilers are going to be rampant online shortly after the movie's official release. No one cares. A-list cameos have been the subject of much speculation surrounding The Flash, so any chance to see those early and unspoiled should be one that is taken advantage of. The Flash comes to theaters Friday, June 16th. Terrible, terrible. I'm not excited. I've seen the trailers. Doesn't look good. I don't care what the Hollywood elite are telling me. The movie does not look good. Those aren't critics. Those are paid shills like the Amico. Exactly, right? We all know how it works. All the hand-holding. Scroll back up. I saw some boobies. Those weren't boobies. She had a shirt on. That was the Pussycat Dolls lead singer. And then the little clickbait title. These outfits were too outrageous for the red carpet. Hashtag Finbar wants Bush. That he does. That he does. Yeah. Flash, to me, doesn't look good. Saw the previews. Wasn't excited. I'm not excited to see Zod come back. I'm not excited to see Supergirl. Ben Affleck as Batman doesn't rustle my jimmies. My almonds aren't activated to see Michael Keaton back in the cowl. I don't know. Nothing about this movie has me excited. I don't like Ezra Miller as a person, and I don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash. So, I'm also not a huge DC fan. I think general audiences are going to poo-poo this movie, and they're going to poo-poo it hard, right? Just like they couldn't see the backlash in China coming from the Little Mermaid casting. Hollywood's going to be like, "Oh my God, we had no idea that people don't want to see Ezra Miller twice in two different roles in The Flash." All you people are they themist. You're going to be themist. You're hating on non-binary weirdos. That's gonna be the narrative. DCU has made all the AAA tiring and old. DC fumbled hard. It was Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder fucked up the DC universe, right? Their DC movies, the animated movies, are so good. How are the animated movies so fucking good, and then the live action movies are such shit, right? Jesus. Even the CW. I would rather watch the Flash CW show than go see the Flash movie. That's how much they fumbled this, right? It's terrible. It's terrible. But that's everything. That's all I got for tonight. Hour and a half. Did pretty good. We stretched it out. I'm sure there was lots of things that people can clip and cancel us over. So there's that. You're welcome. George says, "Well, I love Keaton's Batman. Younger audiences are unlikely to care as much about his return as they did for Toby and Andrew in No Way Home." Yeah, that's the truth. And, I love Michael Keaton's Batman, but let's face it. Keaton was only in one movie, right? At least Tobey Maguire was in 3. Andrew Garfield was in 2. So, you know, there's that. But hey, he's going to be in The Flash. He's heavily promoted. They're like, hey, he's the fucking greatest. He's good. It's not the same, right? It's not the same Batman. Sort of the same, but it's not really the same. Batman Beyond will save DC. We need Cyberpunk Batman. The cartoon movies are good because of Paul Dini. Well, they need to get Paul Dini to do some live action stuff. Take Us to the Future to cleanse everything. Yeah, but then they'll just cast people that look nothing like the cartoon. Keaton would do a good old man Bruce, right? But man, I don't see it. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. I got things to do. I got a life to lead. I can't be here all day talking movies with you people, as much as I love it. So as always, love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.